and welcome. I'm Bonnie Graves, and I'm very excited to be tasting wine on a gorgeous afternoon in Pismo Beach, California. And every time I come to Pismo, there's something new. And what I'm very excited about today is a brand new tasting room, at least new to me. I haven't been here before. With a husband and wife winemaking duo, we're tasting wine today at Liege with Curt and Kara Schalchlin. So thank you very much for welcoming us. Why Pismo Beach? I will say my husband grew up in San Luis Obispo, and I think a lot of people think of Pismo and they think about surfing, or they think about, you know, family-friendly motels and, you know, or glamorous, you know, resorts. But I don't know that people immediately think of it for wine. So tell us what made you guys decide to kind of open up shop here and put your tasting room right here in Pismo?
Well, it's really pretty simple. So we live about 1.5 miles away from here, and you know, I've been making wine now for over 10 years, and most of my neighbors don't even know what I do. And it was just kind of a decision Kara and I made. We wanted to become a part of our community and get to know everybody that lives, you know, around us. And it's been working. It's really great. We're about 50-50 people that come in are tourists and locals. So we're really establishing a really nice local community now with the tasting room. And you know, it's great. They're all our neighbors. It's fun to meet our neighbors and share what we do with them.
I think your approach as a retailer is kind of that, the joy of discovery, which is something that I knew I liked you before I met you, because I liked the way that you were kind of allowing your consumer to explore. And one of the ways that they can explore here in your shop is to actually taste wine. So tell us a little bit about how do you choose what wines to pour? What, you know, we're not just a retail shop, but we're actually opening and sharing wine with your consumers. So what do you see are some of the trends here in Pismo of what grapes people are excited about?
We have a huge selection of wines. Okay,
right.
We've got
in a small space.
Exactly. We at last, I just counted this morning, and we've got about 774 different wines in here, of which about 750 are available by the glass. Every day, any day, it doesn't matter.
Well, and I think it's really helped to kind of make Pismo Beach a wine tasting destination in and of itself. I think there's been, you know, it's great to get in your car, or better yet, have a driver, folks, and drive you around to individual wineries and taste wine. Or you can stop in at Ash's place. There's beautiful hotels and fun places to stay right here locally, so you don't necessarily have to get in your car and drive. There's quite a few tasting rooms that have opened up here in Pismo. In general, you're one of several. The real thing that I think marks the Etna Valley, outside of amazing wine and the acidity and some of the things we're discussing, is also the broader sort of tourism opportunities. Sure. Frankly, it's an amazing part of California. We're about halfway between LA and San Francisco, and it has a non-pretentious, frankly, wine community around it.
When I travel and talk about our wines, you know, maybe in a blizzard in Manhattan, and to be able to say, well, you could come visit us and be surfing on a white sand beach in Pismo and jump in your car and within 10 minutes be tasting out of our barrels, people just go like, you're killing me. But there's so much to offer. I mean, we have lakes, hiking, mountain biking, the whole coastal scene. I mean, this is really, in my mind, where this Southern California beach scene starts.
One of the taglines for Pismo is, you know, classic California, the sort of longboards on the back of the wagon and all that great culture and movies that kind of immortalize that. The difference is there's good wine here.
We're not pretentious. Our neighbors aren't
people.
pretentious. It's come here, taste some wine, throw some bocce balls, hang out on a lawn, maybe experience some varietals you've never tasted before.
I think one of the things that we're learning as we're tasting our way from Pismo Beach across, which isn't a very far journey, but there's such a great sort of microcosm of opportunities for a variety of grapes here. But really, we're hearing a lot about Chardonnay and about Pinot Noir. We're hearing a lot about the fog coming in, that cooling influence.
You were mentioning before that you'd worked in Champagne, and I remember when I was trying to figure out method Champenois, I went to Champagne to investigate it. No one would even talk to me. I mean, they wouldn't let me taste any of the cuvées. They wouldn't talk about the technique.
I speak French, and they're highly suspicious of me.
It was all a secret. Where in California, people are much more open. Yeah. They know that even if I tell you exactly how I do it, give you the 100-page protocol, you're still going to do it slightly different. You're going to have slightly different grapes, and it's going to be different vintage. So
and I think not just in California, but even narrowing it further, one of the things about this area, and I've traveled very extensively around the world, and certainly in other parts of wine producing California, but I think one of the things that really separates the Etna Valley, and you know, by extension, you mentioned Santa Maria, some of the sort of sister appellations that cluster around this area, is that collegiality, that sort of, you know, genuine warmth. Like you see winemakers, frankly, usually drinking beer together, not necessarily drinking wine.
Not me, I'm not a beer drinker.
But I think that there's that spirit of sort of collaboration that's very unique about this area. Let's go back to folks who might be coming over from Pismo. And the thing that's great, again, and we've mentioned this a few times, and even I have some family members who live in the San Luis Obispo area, and I think even a lot of locals don't realize just how great the wine is that's right in their backyard, let alone people from other parts of California who are like, oh, well, if it's from Napa, it's from Sonoma, and now, of course, with Sideways Santa Barbara's made its mark, but still this area, Edna Valley, and some of the amazing wines that are coming from this area still kind of are a little bit of a hidden treasure, at least I think so. So if people really want to come and find your wines, we're about halfway, I would say about halfway between San Francisco and Los Angeles. You could kind of set up shop maybe in Pismo Beach. There's a whole, lovely number of places. But how many wineries are we talking about? You're one of the originals here.
Well, in the Edna Valley, I don't have a count. I'd say 8 or 10. There are a lot more brands because there are places that make more than one brand of wine under the same roof. But I mean, there's more than you can do in one day, and it's a 5-minute drive from Pismo Beach. I mean, there's a straight shot on Price Canyon Road from downtown Pismo Beach to the heart of the Edna Valley, and there's this wonderful, I guess I'd say, symbiosis between the beach town and the wine country. I mean, it's for a vacation, it doesn't get any better than that.
I'm having a little breakfast this morning with Executive Chef Pandee Pearson, and we are here on the gorgeous deck, appropriately named the Lido deck, Lido restaurant at Dolphin Bay Resort, just outside Pismo Beach. So Pandee, thanks for being here this morning.
My pleasure.
So I have to say, one of the most gorgeous pieces of oceanfront real estate. I mean, with a view like this, it's nice work if you can get it, huh?
Can't beat it.
So tell me a little bit about what brought you to this part of California and a little bit about what you're excited to do here at Lido.
I moved to the Central Coast because it absolutely has everything a chef would ever want. Fresh seafood, excellent produce, and wine.
Yes.
That's the trifecta for me.
Well, we've been talking quite a bit with a number of wineries in the area, in the Edna Valley especially. And for me, with a background as a sommelier, I knew about the Edna Valley long before most people, and I think the secret is kind of slowly getting out that there's this amazing wine country. A lot of people, they know Napa, they know Sonoma, maybe they know Santa Barbara, but when you say Edna Valley or you say Pismo, there's a little bit of a disconnect there. So what do you think that comes from, or is it a secret we want to share, or a secret we want to keep secret?
I think it's a secret we want to share. There's some awesome wines coming out of Edna Valley and the surrounding areas, and I think the word's out.